Set this up with Spring Farm Cares.
Yeah,
their animal, which is the Animal and Nature Sanctuary. They're having an anniversary. Their 25th anniversary open house, which will be held coming up this Saturday from 11 a.m. I believe it's Saturday, right?
Yep.
On the line right now from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. There's a lot of stuff going on. Bonnie Reynolds is the co-founder of Spring Farm Cares and is on the air now. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning.
It is great to hear your voice.
Why, I always love to hear my voice, too, actually. My mother felt the same way.
So, Bonnie, tell us about you guys. It's been 25 years.
Yeah, and we can't believe it. When we started out, it was just with a few horses and a few cats and a few dogs, and now we're up to, we depending on what comes in, we range any place from about 250 to 300 animals here at any one time.
And it's everything, right? It's horses, donkeys.
Everything. As if it's domestic, we can't handle any wild animals here. The wild animals are across the street in our 250-acre wildlife sanctuary.
Right.
But we have everything here, including at the moment we have a few little lab mice that were rescued.
Wow. Well, I got to tell you, so you're obviously you would be against, when you say rescuing lab mice, using mice and rats and animals, which obviously are really there to, in many cases, die, right? You rescue those animals.
Yeah, well, one of our little employees is studying to be a vet tech.
Okay.
And she was working with these little guys and got to love them. And then all of a sudden she's told when she's finished she has to euthanize them. Mm. So we took them in here for her at Spring Farm. Yeah, no, it is pretty much proven that using lab animals to approximate what goes on in the human system is fallacy anyway. It doesn't really work.
You know, Bonnie, I have to tell you, my wife and I, and my wife did when she was going to college. I think she did an internship program and did a whole big piece on you guys when you first opened.
A long time ago.
You wouldn't remember her, but nonetheless, we adopted a greyhound from the race. It was lifted from the tracks out in I believe Rhode Island or Connecticut.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult too because those dogs are not really domesticated. They're racetrack domesticated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like the border collies. The border collies are working dogs, and they shouldn't be in a home. If you take a border collie and enclose them in a home, they will literally go insane.
Interesting. And we once had a dog that you had to put the dog in the crate because when we would leave, whatever, it would just get all over the place. But we had the original. It's a folding wire. I want to say wire, but it's not wire. It's like spokes.
Yeah.
Crate. The dog hated that crate. We've got the plastic one that was completely enclosed, more like a den. And the dog, when the crate door was open, the dog would just go in the crate. The dog felt safe inside there. Sometimes
they're den animals.
You got to find something that the dog is going to be, or the dog, cat that's going to be happy with.
Whatever it is, a dog, all of them love a little enclosed place that is their safe place alone.
Yeah. Our greyhound, by the way, greyhounds are very interesting, the dogs. The dog would not jump over anything, would not climb stairs. But we would actually just put the dog in the corner and put a chair there. The dog would never get out of that corner and would lay up there, almost like a cat would curl up in the corner. We love that greyhound.
So, the greyhounds are very cat-like, actually.
They really are.
I would say they're very close to cheetahs.
They're the most amazing. It's completely different than if you're used to dogs. A greyhound is completely different.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Saturday. A lot of stuff going on. You're over on Route 12, not 12B, but Route 12.
Exactly. We're about 4 miles south of Utica National Insurance Company on the left, or coming from Waterville. We're about 8 miles north of Waterville on the right. As you say, not 12B. So many people take 12B into Clinton, and they call all lost.
So a lot of things going on, though. You have guided tours, and you do have a 250-acre...
We're going to be at one and 2:30.
Okay.
There are going to be guided tours of our 250-acre nature sanctuary. You're not going to have to walk over all 250 acres, but Matt Perry, our conservation director, he's the guy who has the Falcon Project down in the Adirondack Bank building.
Oh, the Peregrine Fountains.
Yeah. People,
cool.
Most people know about that. And anyway, Matt will be giving the tours, and if it's sprinkling a little bit, then wear your raincoat and bring an umbrella or whatever.
No, I think it's going to be nice.
Now, then we have, yes, we're planning on that.
Yep.
Then we have hay rides up the hill to look at our 3 windmills and our new solar arrays. At this point, we've got, for the main portion of our facility, we're down to 0 on our electric bill because of our wind and our solar. And there are going to be experts here who can tell people who are interested in either of these two technologies what goes on. But you can go up there and actually walk around them and get a good look at them.
Your electric bill is 0.
Electric bill in the main facility, is 0.
Wow.
Absolutely 0. Of course, the power company tacks on this delivery thing.
Okay, yeah. Got it.
We're paying for delivery of something that we don't use.
That is unbelievable. Hey, Bonnie, I want to ask you. Now, you've created this sanctuary, this place for animals, and I think people would be shocked to see what you have done for animals there. Now, you gave up a life of. Can we talk a little bit about your life?
Yeah.
You gave up a life, and by the way, I just maybe a month ago was watching your appearance on MASH.
Really?
I did. It's on YouTube, and I'm going to put it up on our page so people can look at it. You gave up a life of in Hollywood, big Hollywood life, and came to live in upstate New York.
Well, look, I'm the 6th generation on Spring Farm. There's been a Jones here on Spring Farm since 1820.
Oh.
Although I deeded the whole thing, I deeded over to Spring Farm Cares. I'm just a squatter here now.
Okay.
But I didn't really give it up because my father had become an invalid, and my mother needed help. And I had just gotten a divorce from my dear ex-husband, Gene Reynolds, and I mean dear. He's a sweet guy. I love him.
The Gene Reynolds, by the way.
The Gene Reynolds. He was a movie star in the 1930s, and he's the little boy in Boys Town that the little lame mayor of Boys Town. That was his big claim to fame.
Yeah.
But he also was the producer, director of things like Hogan's Heroes, Ghost of Mrs. Muir.
Which, by the way, Hogan's Heroes, you also played you were in the bar scene, one of the bar scenes in Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah, I was. And interestingly enough, in that particular episode, Bill Christopher, who ended up being Father Mulcahy, played a German officer in that particular thing.
That, I did not catch that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep. So anyway, I came back here because I was needed, and I was the daughter who was available. And I had to amuse myself, so I started collecting animals who were in need. And in 1991, it became necessary, since I used up every penny I ever had. We went nonprofit. And as I say, that was 1991, and here we are. We never intended to get this big, but the need was there, and so we just kept filling it and growing with it. We have 25 employees at this point.
Jeff, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, you said there was always a Jones, someone in your family on the farm for, 6 decades. What is your position currently, and you were getting into the number of staff that you have right now?
My position? Well, you can call me the president, I guess.
The president, okay.
She's the and founder as well.
And co-founder. The other founder is Dawn Heyman. She, a lot of people understand that she is one of the world's foremost animal communicators. She is absolutely mind-blowing. Her abilities in communicating telepathically with animals is something that has made my jaw drop open again and again over the last 20. Well, actually, she and I have been working on this for 30 years.
Wow.
We were working on it for 5 years before we went nonprofit.
So sometime I would love to get you in to talk about the creation of that, and maybe you could bring her in as well.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And talk about your days and the hobnobbing with celebrities and how it all came together. And those are the heyday of Hollywood. It's not the same way anymore. It's not like it used to be.
No, it's not. I got in on the tail end of it. I mean, we'd go to the Academy directors, and see a film, and afterwards we'd stand out talking with like Jane Withers and Katherine Grayson and Nina Foch and Paul Newman, and it was.
Yeah.
I mean, when I look back at it, I can hardly remember it because I'm a little farm girl.
Well, listen, it was, and to come home and to do the thing. Listen, you came home to take care of your dad. That is a big, big move. That a lot of kids are. They come to that decision in their life, and sometimes you have to give everything up. And I know you said you didn't give everything up, but you did, and you did it for the right reasons.
Well, my parents, I couldn't have asked for better parents. I was a very fortunate kid in this world. I had the most astounding, wonderful parents who never told me I couldn't do anything. Whatever I wanted to do, fine, no problem. It was never, oh, you're a girl, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I could do anything, and they were behind me.
Including show up on programs like MASH and Hogan's Heroes. Pretty wild.
Right.
All right. Well, listen, it's great talking to you again, Bonnie, and we'll try to set up something down the road this Saturday, 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. That's Route 12, not 12B, 4 miles south of New Hartford. And it's everything from learning about wind and solar energy to the animals and music and food and all of that stuff.
Oh, great music. And
Yeah.
also I have a huge layout here of the history of Spring Farm from about 1870 onward, which is
Wow.
very, very interesting.
Okay, now that goes back to you're going to go way back, right?
Well, it's as far back as I have photographs to show it, yeah.
Pretty awesome. All right. Well, listen, Bonnie, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. That is, again, this Saturday from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. She has stories.
I can imagine.
She knows the stories.
I feel like an idiot.
Pretty amazing when you think about it.
Asking what her, what she was there. She's a co-founder, but if it goes back to the 1800s, I guess that's where I was kind of.
Well, it was a family farm.
It was a family farm.
But what, never was Spring Farm Cares. She created but I think that.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
It was a farm. That was her family farm, and it would go back. But there she is in Hollywood, and there's nobody to take care of her father. And she came back here. Well, if you notice, they'll have who was the one on Hogan's Heroes, Werner, that used to come out for the benefits for her. She'd bring these Hollywood people out that
no kidding.
That would do the and of course her husband, the creator of programs like Hogan's Heroes and a little show called MASH.